Hold on, I'm pretty. That's smart. Hold on one second.
See if that works.
Better?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Sunset, sunset, sunset.
Let's just navigate past my laundry, so keep looking at my face before I rotate this thing.
You're
I have
currently Cape
beautiful
Town, yes?
Yes, Cape Town. That's Lion's
Wow.
Head in the Signal Hill. And I'll send you a video in the week of the ocean and the view. It's so beautiful
Oh,
here. It's just
I
beautiful.
gotta make it there.
My
I gotta
laundry in the
make it
back.
there.
Yeah.
All right. How you
Okay.
been?
I've been good.
Hmm.
Really good. I could eat all the carbs I wanted to, so that's could eat whatever I wanted to. It was great. I get to say
Why is that? Why is
I'm
that not a
a
regular
recovering model.
thing, though?
Just because I suppose having two careers, needing to look a certain way, or even though like standards have changed, but when you start off in an industry and you have to be a certain weight or have like certain measurements, it kind of sticks with you. So you always expect
Yeah.
that of yourself as well. Like you can never
Gotcha,
eat a
gotcha.
pizza without thinking it's a cheat meal, right? Like going, oh, tomorrow I have to hit the gym.
Yeah. Fair. Fair. I like your chair, by the way.
Thank you. I did not pick it out myself. My place came fully furnished.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. But let's get this started. Hey, everybody, welcome to
Yes,
the
I
Two
kind
Degrees
of.
Podcast brought to you by the Play On Foundation. And today I have a wonderful guest with you who's coming all the way from the other side of the globe. And I'm so excited to get to talk to her because I'm so curious about the industry all the way on that end. It'd be really cool to work there too. That's also a goal to find. So one day, hopefully, fingers crossed. But everybody, Suraya Rose Santos.
Ba, 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 ba. No red carpet, no one like playing a flute, introducing me.
Oh,
But I mean that was
don't worry.
recent.
I'll add that in, I'll add that in post. I'll give it a little
You'll fix
fanfare
it
just for you.
in post. That's like our number one saying here on this side as well. Every time something goes really wrong during something, everyone's like, "Oh, we'll just fix it in post." I'm like, "You can't fix acting in post
Oh
now,
my
can
goodness.
you?"
So what's going on with you in regards to the industry and more specifically in regards to COVID? Because right now it's a nightmare here where productions are shutting down left, right, and center just because of a positive test. How's it going there?
Well, pretty much the same. And I don't know if you're aware of this. About 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, the scientists here had discovered the Omicron virus, the new
Hmm.
variant. So instantly, we
Hmm.
were red listed. As a result,
Hmm.
I'm not too sure about the numbers, but as a result, our industry took a whacking of a hit from TV series, commercials, films. We lost, I want to estimate 40 million rand. I don't know how much that is in dollars, but it's a lot of money.
Wow.
It's a lot of money. It sucks because obviously I can't say which projects, but I was an option for two international projects that we're going to shoot here. And my options were released. And I was notified, should they
No.
decide to go, would have to re-audition the whole process. And South African actors have it hard because the auditions start and then make their way around the world. But the problem with South Africa and like the rest of the world is they don't want to make stars. They want ready-made stars, So
Hmm.
it's very frustrating, especially when an international production comes here and they want to cast someone, but we don't have the following,
Hmm.
as opposed to giving us an opportunity. So coming back
Yeah.
to what COVID's been like, it's been frustrating. I think I was very close to a nervous breakdown a couple of times, but I kind of learned just to let go, to invest in
This
hobbies,
is
to
an
eat
open
whatever.
space. This is an open space where I've had two breakdowns this entire COVID season. So if you
Did you
want to
hear
share
that?
about that mental health, oh, this is camera. The camera makes it look like that. I wish it was that beautiful in person.
Pantene or
Oh
someone
man.
sponsor this. Get this. It's beautiful.
Right. Oh, that's a very hopeful goal right now
I
because
feel like we need
I
to have a
want to
fan
top
in
this
front
off
of you.
so bad.
Don't do it. Don't. If
Always,
you do try,
always. Not even
I
just a fan.
thank you.
I want a person waving a giant palm leaf. That's what I'm gonna add into my rider in future projects is I
Oh no, I'm
demand
excited.
a
After this
fan
COVID,
waver.
can I tell you, after the first COVID, right, we could go back to work because actors were counted as essential service workers, which was amazing. And I was
Hmm.
doing a local TV show on one of our networks called Mzansi Magic, called Fula Vala. And I was pretty excited. I never thought in my life I would do like a local soapy or anything like that, because I just find the acting a bit challenging. I'm too invested
Hmm.
and I'm too invested, you know what I mean, versus soapy acting. It's
Yeah.
just like if you're too invested in a soapy acting, it doesn't really read well with your like on camera with the rest of the
Yeah.
actors because the actor just doesn't match up
Yeah.
the energy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Just
so
say the
it
words.
was a
Just
lot of
say the.
fun. Yeah, just say what's on the page, sweetie. No one cares about your given circumstance or imaginary. Fuck Stanislavski right now. Are we allowed to swear?
Yes,
Am
yes,
I allowed
we
to? Oh,
definitely are.
just checking.
This
So
isn't for
what
the
is
kids. This is if kids want to listen to this, they already have therapy sessions booked after.
if no, if kids want to listen to this, then I mean it's the perfect introduction to the industry. Fuck.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an artist. Fuck.
Let
Going
me
back to
light
it
a
anyway. So
cigarette
kind
for
of,
you while I tell you why that's not good.
oh, you want to be an actress? How much time you got? That kind of everything.
But I know people
So
who can make
yeah,
you a star.
yeah, I've been on that couch.
Oh my God.
Very terrible joke. So yeah, coming back to what I was saying, Canada's an essential service worker, going back to being on set after 6 months of not being on set. It was amazing. It felt
Hmm.
so good, but also in a weird way, it didn't feel normal anymore. You know, set is such a sacred place. I usually call it like my church, where you feed off of energy, whether it's catering all the way up to your crew, to your co-star. You feed off the people's energy, and now it's just like so cold. Um,
Hmm.
you can't fist pump anyone. Everyone has masks on. You can't read their facial expressions or anything. And then on top of it, you
Yeah.
get violated before you step on set, like copious amounts of times. Like, do you remember how cute my nostrils were? Now look at them. That's all the COVID tests. It constantly
That's all
looks
just
like I'm flaring
swabs
my,
going in.
yeah. And we have to do sometimes,
They're
not even
traumatized.
kidding. I have to do a COVID test tomorrow, actually. So we have to do one before shooting and then two on the day.
What?
Yeah. So we do a COVID test before shooting and then we do two on the day, like back to back. Back to
Okay,
back.
okay. Isn't
It'd be
Oh,
horrible
so
if
that's
they
that's
did
not
like,
that's standard. That's standard here is you have to it's both nostrils when you get a test.
yeah, but I mean, like you do one a day before and then the next day on set.
But twice in a day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but in total, 3 tests in 24 hours.
So they think you're gonna catch it on the day?
I don't know. That's not my department. I just work there.
Gotcha.
Literally
Sorry,
not my
sorry
department.
about that.
That's a question for production. I just work there.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So it's been interesting getting, the new normal in
Yeah.
the industry. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of went in with after 6 months of downtime during the lockdown. I went in with I will take whatever job I get, and I'm no longer feeling insecure about my craft. Like I need to level up because I have
Nice.
to make back 6 months worth of
Yeah.
work. And as South Africans,
Yeah.
I feel like our artists are either, we have crab mentality. Do you know what that means? Like when you see crabs getting captured and the one is trying to break out, they just bring it down. So we have that,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is not nice. And then on top of it, we're so apologetic. I mean, you should actually play a drinking game if you ever meet a South African and have a shot for each time they say sorry. Bump into a wall. Oh, sorry, to the wall. You know,
Interesting.
we always apologize.
Yeah.
So it
I'm
interesting going
curious
back
now
into.
who's more apologetic, South Africans or Canadians?
Oh yeah, you guys are also nice. I forget. I forget.
Yeah, we're very sorry people.
Yeah, you guys
And the
are
way I
lovely.
compare it in regards to like nationalities, where we're like Australians, except we'll apologize afterwards. Where
Oh,
an Australian will go to your show and they'll tell you that it was shit, whereas a Canadian will go to your show and apologize
tell you it was
that he
great.
didn't have a good time.
I'm so sorry. Like South Africans will
It was,
blatantly be like, "Yeah, no, yeah, no, it was good, yeah, no." But it's great because we have a positive and a negative, so you never know what we're really saying. Like, yeah, no, it was good,
yeah,
yeah, no.
we
Yeah.
also do the positive negative just because it's like, yeah, no, it was good. Oh, okay.
I like that. But Afrikaans saying here for yeah, no is like yeah, no, yeah. Cool, 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 cool.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
man,
what you wrote.
that's fun. So now, how it works here in regards to like COVID testing is so they'll space out the COVID test. You'll get COVID tested 3 times a week, and then it's like if there's a positive COVID test, then they'll retrace who was around that person's department.
That's cool. That's cool. Like I
Again,
just
like
experienced an
I
outbreak
just I just
once.
work there too, so it's like I just kind of just go with it. Where it's like, oh,
You have
COVID test?
babies,
Yeah,
tell
no.
us what's going
Uh,
on. I mean, I just experienced an
I
outbreak once
I
doing
know
a
my
show.
lines. Is that enough? Like,
I
uh,
came in to be a prop. Like I okay, so at the beginning of last year, I was on it was supposed to be a 3 week production, which turned into 3 months because of all the COVID outbreaks. It was the beginning of last year, so I would say we were hitting our second wave during filming. And
okay.
there was one day where a co-star personally reached out to me and said, "Look, she just tested positive for COVID." And we were together in a scene a day
Mm,
before, you know. I was like, I don't know what to do. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning before I have to be at set. I don't know what to do. My dear agent is fast asleep, everything. And it's weird because it puts like a certain pressure on you. Like, you know, this information, production hasn't received it yet because they're still doing their own thing. Like your ADs, everyone are probably rushing to get to work. Your transport is outside.
yeah.
Your agent's still asleep. What do I have to do to make the decision? Am I going to go to work today or am I not? And especially as the lead, I feel like it's a bit. So I thought I was doing the right thing by telling. I went down. I told my transport, I'm not going to go to work today. And they're like, "What do you mean? Like how? Oh, yeah. What do you mean? You know, kind of thing." I'm like,
Mm,
"Don't worry. Tell them I said so. I just need to hear back from my agent before I make any decisions right now." You know, and it felt like I'm the type of actor where I need my agent to hold my hand through everything. Like I doubt myself a lot in choices. So I'm just like, I know this is not the right thing to do because there's so many people that go home to their mom and dad and maybe even grandparents. And if there's an outbreak on set, we all need to get tested before anything else, especially with the second wave, you know? So I was like, okay,
yeah.
I'm not gonna go in. So obviously the driver gets to set and I'm not in the van. And production reached out to me before my agent. And it was that thing of, I cannot talk to you now until I speak to my agent. It was probably my first diva moment that I ever had. And then
Nice.
eventually spoke to my agents, and my agent was like, I think we should all do COVID tests before anything. So we ended up all getting to set, all of us together, to do a COVID test,
Mhm.
which was great. It was bonding. It was great. A lot of COVID tests. It was a lot. Felt like it was my fault as well. Like, you can't help but feel guilty. Like, I know I did the right thing. You can't mess around or fuck around when it comes to things like this, especially if there's going to be an outbreak on sex. But I also felt
Yeah.
so guilty being like, it was shut down for 2 weeks because like 5 other people tested positive. You know, I felt so
Mm.
guilty as like for the network, for everything. I was just like, oh God, I'm so sorry. It's all because I didn't want to go to work. You're very much in 2 minds, even though you know that you're doing the right
Yeah.
thing, but also we're taught to be the type of people, if you're in pain, if you're sick, anything, you just fucking go on and perform, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
so that's why I was like, it is a global pandemic. Am I doing the right thing? Should I just perform? Have you been in a situation like that?
I luckily have not been. I've been in situations where they say that somebody tested positive on set, but then they ensure us that, like, oh, but that's this department, so it didn't have anything to do with this. We found out and traced who they were in contact with, so then we resumed it. I haven't been part of a production that actually shut down though. Almost did, but it was literally 2 days before they shut down the industry where we picture wrapped.
Uh,
um I think like there was a word that was happening where it was like, oh, they're shutting down productions. So like we did overtime like 2 days in a row just to kind of get everything done, and then we get word the next day that the entire industry is down.
coming to a standstill.
So I've been in that. Yeah. So
The only other
dramatic.
situation I was in was we all tested, all of us negative, shot the commercial. The next day we get a message, someone tested positive. I'm just like,
Hmm.
and apparently we were all in that person's space because it was skeleton crew. And I'm just like, cool, now it's another test.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I don't know, like, it I have my own position in regards to what they should do, but like at the end of the day, I'm not a scientist. So what's my opinion gonna
At the
matter?
end of the
What's
day,
it
we're
gonna get?
just the talent, babe. We're just the
Yeah, we're
talent. Our
just we're
opinions don't
just
matter.
talent. But it's like
Talking prop
I
number
love
32.
I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore. I think that's like a completely derogatory term in regards of this industry where it's like they went through so many phases where I think right now they've settled on background performer as like your they don't call them extras anymore. They don't call them I can't remember what was the other word before that, but like no, you are an artist as well. So the union will fight for this
You're
right
also
for
talent.
you to call yourself a yeah. You're a talent, you're
So
not just a prop.
there's this great joke by Trevor Noah. And look, first of all, I'm just going to say I love my South African film industry. I really do. But we still have a long way to go, you know, before
Hmm.
we can we have the capability, we have the potential, we just have a lot of learning to do. So coming back, Trevor Noah has this amazing joke that says South Africa always likes doing shortcuts, like the rest of the world is there, and South Africa decides no, we'll meet you there. We are first going to do this way, like a shortcut, right? So by you saying like, no, they call it background artist, you know, you're an artist too, yeah, it's still talking prop extract.
Oh gosh. And then you kind of just have to
Yeah.
own that title in the meantime.
Oh, yeah. No, I was like one of the lead cast members on one film, and my second AD refused to allow me to go into my dressing room because he was convinced I was an extra and I had to fill out like, the extra sign in and sign out. And then I went to go hang out with the extras and stuff like, because he just refused to believe I was one of the lead cast members. And I was like, cool. And the first lady is having a heart attack. Like, why am I not in hair and makeup? And I'm just like casually sitting there with everyone having a cigarette, talking about why they became extra. Because it's your time to chat to them, right? Because usually when you're working on set and an a darling extra comes up to you and it's like, so how did you break into the industry, everything? I sometimes get annoyed. I'm like, bro, this is time and place. Drop me a DM on like Instagram or something. I'm about to go and cry and like, pretend to get killed. So the last thing I want to talk about is how I got into the industry and how you were so fantastic in your third grade play. Let's go for coffee, kind of a thing. So I thought this was the perfect opportunity to like have a conversation and everything. But of course, at this point, no one is taking me seriously because they just like, okay, cool. So you're not a real actor. You just, with us. I'm like, actually, I started as an extra. I have, and now I do like, movies and stuff. So my first AD is running around all panicked and he's like, why are you here? This is not where you should be. You should be in your dressing room. So you're supposed to get ready for hair and makeup and everything. I'm like, talk to you for seconds. He didn't want to sign me in as a lead artist. All because how I looked in hair and makeup versus how I look without hair and makeup. He refused to believe it was the same person.
Interesting.
Makeup.
I've been in a similar situation where I get to set and then I'm directed where to go and then I'm kind of redirected where it's like, oh no, you're supposed to go here. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just here. So you're telling me to go here? You know
That's
where
your
I
job to
am.
tell
I'll
me where
go
to go,
here.
bro.
Yeah.
No.
So then now I'm hanging out with all the background, and then I'm like to the point where I'm having background breakfast. I'm like, okay, cool. It's a buffet style of eggs, and I'll take some of these nice tomatoes. Yeah, cool. And I'm eating breakfast, and I'm
Everybody
just
doesn't
like
get any sustenance.
chilling with everybody. And then everybody's like, where's our talent? Where's our talent? And I see this happening, but I was told to go here, so I'm gonna enjoy my eggs and because otherwise you were
Excuse
gonna have to
me.
bring me breakfast. Wow. Okay, and with that, that was the 2 Degrees podcast brought to you by the Play On Foundation and Suraya Santos Rose. Thank you for that joke. That was good. Oh man. I also remember my first acting credit that I got, my first speaking line, where I remember the AD that was helping me, and he was a total jerk to me on the last production I was on because I was an extra. So it went from you need to stand here and go when I tell you, or else we're gonna send you home, to what kind of coffee? Can I get you anything? Can I? Well, here's your trailer right here. If you need anything, just let me know. I was like, um, you don't remember me, do you? No, you don't, because you are just one of those guys. Like, okay, whatever. So that was my introduction to the industry, was how multifaceted people are when it comes to your position on a production.
I don't think
Fun
I've
time.
ever really had that situation. Like I said, I started when I was still studying. I did the whole extra thing, and I was also crew because I knew I wanted to be in the industry, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to be an actor, if I wanted to be a director,
Is this
what I wanted to
during
be.
your
So I just
modeling, or was this before modeling as well?
after modeling, actually, well, during, I would say during. I started studying drama in, I'm going to say 2012 till 2014. I was studying
Hmm.
drama and speech. But in between, like on my weekends, I would find out anywhere that needed, like, interns. Or if they needed, like, I don't know, hands, if they needed an extra, etc. I knew I loved to act, but I wasn't sure if that was for me. I honestly wasn't sure. So I don't know if it's because I started off in crew or as a background that those are my favorite people on set to hang with. As a
Sure.
result, I would say when I walk onto set, it's like, even when I like go to jiu-jitsu or if I go out partying and stuff like that, majority of my industry friends are crew. They're
Hmm.
crew or they're the stunts or their background. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
have a couple of amazing actor friends as well, but majority of them are crew. So whenever I walk
Yeah.
on, like even when I go for smoke breaks, it's always with the crew. Where's Suresh? Probably hang out with the crew, kind of a thing. I have this one
Yeah.
epic photo from a film I did called By's Cafe. And it's just like me having a cigarette with my DOP and
I've
all
been
the crew guys.
trying to find that film for so long. I just have to tell you that. So if you
I
have
know
it, please feel free to
it
send it my way.
premiered at I know it premiered in Canada now recently at the South Asian Film Festival,
When you say
which was I
recently,
think
like last year or this year?
yeah, like about 2-3 months ago. I still jumped on off like a Zoom after the screening, which was like at midnight
What? Okay.
my time. It was like
Hmm.
4 p.m. for you guys. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, it was that thing of I had a top on and then my PJ pants at the bottom.
that's fair. Is that what you're doing right now? You can admit it. It's okay. This is that kind of podcast.
Why do you think I haven't stood up yet for an intro? I'm like, hey guys, how you doing? I'm just gonna lean here. Look at my cheekbones instead of my PJ pants. But yeah, like I
Oh
said,
man,
so
okay.
crew
I gotta try my best to track that down again.
to track what?
The film, unless you have it,
Oh, but
feel free, send it my way.
I don't have. I don't. I'll
Hmm.
ask my brother
Okay.
because my brother is in Toronto and he is, I want to say, my number one fan. Anything that I'm in, he orders the DVD and he has like 3 copies of
Oh, that's
everything.
awesome.
So I'll ask him if he has copies. Yeah, he's so sweet.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. But
Although
yes,
I
your
did this
cast photo
movie, my cast photo. Oh, I have to
or
find the
your
cast
smoking
photo for
photo.
you. Yeah, I'll find it for you and I'll
No,
send
no,
it to you.
no.
My mind is like on a million topics.
No, it's all good. It's also there's the delay while technology is trying to bring me on the West Coast here and then you in South Africa together and there's a tiny bit of a delay, but that's all right. We're making it happen.
It's just we giving it a beat before we reply, right?
See, this is the industry. This is why this is working so well. We just know. We just know. Take the beat. Take the
Yeah.
take the moment.
And work with it. But my face really hurts from smiling so much.
Oh my goodness. So then, from your extra days, what was the transition like into your principal days?
I mean, it's that thing of I, it's cool. It's amazing when it happens. I hope I do the job justice, but you don't really feel it in the sense of every production that you get. One day you might be the number one on call sheet. The next job you like 101. You know, I honestly believe in that saying there are no small parts. There really isn't.
Hmm.
Anything that you do, it's to push the story forward. What are you going to bring to the table? You got this part, whether it's a big part or a small part, you got it because you did something right in the audition. You are exactly what they wanted for the character. So bring that to life. Have fun with it, whether you're there for a day, whether you're there for all the days. Um, so that doesn't really matter to me. When I say I honestly love my job, whether I get to be there for a second or throughout, I'm just happy to be there. And I'm so grateful because there's a lot of people you meet, and when you tell them I'm an actor, they go, oh, I wish I was that. I've always wanted to be an actor. And it breaks my heart when people say that because, like, why didn't you? It's the best thing ever. It's like keeping
Yeah.
your inner child alive. So every day that I get to be on set, especially because it's tough, it's really, really hard. And hearing
Yeah.
after COVID how many people decided to quit, how many people things didn't work out, you sit in a very comfortable position, like I can wake up every morning and know I either have a casting or I've booked this and this and this. So the transition, it was cool. I get to do what I love. I felt like a rock star. I'm like, cool. Every morning I wake up, I get to do what I
If
love.
if you started in this industry, let's say 3 years, 4 years later, do you think you would still have that same confidence going through this pandemic? Because personally, I don't think if I was in the industry as long as I was when the pandemic hit, I would have probably fallen into that category of not pursuing it anymore. Because I feel
I,
like, I don't know if this is the same in South Africa, where I feel like COVID has allotted an opportunity for local artists to get bigger roles. And because I, along with a whole bunch of other friends here in Canada, have put in their time and have been in the industry for over near a decade and more now, now they're at the front of the line in terms of local pickings. Is that what you're experiencing in a way?
I mean, first of all, I would say, coming back to the first question that you had, when I got into this industry, I understood that an overnight sensation is 10 years of hard work. It doesn't just happen like that. To some people, yes. But if you're entering this expecting a leading role, expecting instant fame, anything like that, go find another job,
No, 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 no.
you
Not
know?
even, not even in regards to that. This more just specifically because of the pandemic and COVID,
Specifically to the
where it
pandemic.
literally took,
I,
yeah.
I think I still would have been had the same mentality. It would just be a lot
Hmm.
more frustrating. Uh, but when it's things that you cannot control, you cannot get mad at it. It just means, okay, like your goal is still the same, just your motivation and your obstacles to get there. Let's refer to Robert Cohen's GOAT: goal, obstacle, tactic, expectation. Yes, I'm a drama freak. Um, so your goal then changes the same. Your expectation still remains the same. What is the tactic that you're going to use to overcome your obstacles? So I would say, like, if I was new to the industry and I had not been doing it as long, I wouldn't have used my 6 months as a holiday. I would have used my 6 months
Hmm.
as prep, going back to old notes, looking at everything from Stanislavski to Laban, really working on myself. I did that for the first 2 months. And then I was just like, oh, let's learn how to make banana bread, you know? But yeah, I think my mentality would have been the same, but my approach would have been very different.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Fair.
it wouldn't have been the carbs. Um, but also with your second thing, so we do have a lot of amazing local talents, and they are stepping up. There's a lot of local films being produced and everything. Our markets, though, are very segregated in terms of our audience, very segregated because it's very different cultures. So we have like an Afrikaans market, we have an English speaking market, we have an Indian market, with urban market. So we have a lot of segregation, and the channels cater for these very much in it. And my biggest issue that I have here, why I don't do so well in South Africa, and this has been notes that I've been given a lot of the times, is I have a brand that's not relatable here because I don't.
Hmm.
I'm mixed race, right? My mom is a mix of Spanish and Portuguese, and my dad is Indian. So I don't really fit into the stereotype, if you will, of being mixed race. Although South Africa has vast mixed races, I don't relate to the markets because I can't speak Afrikaans because I don't have a certain accent, which I can get the accent, no problem. But it's almost like they would rather hire someone that has that authentically versus me. I'm cool with that. I mean, I heard there's a lot of space in LA and Vancouver.
Mhm. Gotcha, gotcha. No, I feel that. Like, I was also gonna really dive into that and what your insight on that would be, because like not only is South Africa diverse, but the industry is also, it feels very segregated in a way where you have such a big Bollywood market, you have such a big Nollywood market, as well as you have that market that Netflix is taking advantage of, and I see a lot of South African content coming to mainstreaming, but it's like there's not a lot of South African
Oh,
talent
I
that's
can
in
give
it.
a shout out to Shamila Miller in Dead Places, just because she's one of my really good friends, and that's a dope show.
Fair
This
enough,
is
fair enough. All right.
talent.
I don't I need to check that out, see if that's here though. Is that international or is that just South African
Yeah,
Netflix?
it's pretty international. I know it dropped on Netflix Brazil before it came to South Africa, and I was dying to watch it because
Okay.
among casting directors, they always confuse us. Like, we're considered each other's
Huh.
competition. We love her so much. We even have in our
Yeah,
Instagram bios had the stunt doubles.
that's so funny. Have you guys, so you guys have like worked together and you have a very close
We
relationship?
haven't worked together yet. I'm waiting for someone to write a script of us being sisters. Like, we even have a beauty spot in the exact same place. We're the same height, more or less the same skin tone, have
That's
the
so
same hair.
fun.
It's, yeah, no, it's great fun. It's so much fun. I walked into a casting
Hmm.
once, and they were very confused with my name, and they kept looking down at the paper and looking at me, and they're like, "You're Suraya," and I'm like, "Yes." Are you related to Shamila in any way? And I'm just like, no, but I can see where you're getting at. Thank you. And then she'll be like, it's the part. She like kills it every time. Like, I want to say, like, I tell her to her face, "Oh, I auditioned for it. I'm so jealous." But I'm not mad, bro. Like, well done, high five. But I'm so jealous. But well done. But like, do you have someone that's
Hmm.
a dear friend that you love so much, but you guys are literally in the
Oh yeah.
same category?
Oh yeah, 100%. Alex Mallory Jr. We went to the same high school together too, and he got into the industry before I did, and he actually gave me like the tools I needed to get into principal acting. So like when I started showing interest, he was the guy I went to and he pushed me in the right direction. And yeah, no, I feel eternally indebted to that man. So maybe I could get my writer fingers in it and have some kind of story where you and your twin and me and my twin have some kind of something going on. I don't know. We need to
Exactly.
make that happen.
Kind of like that movie. What's the movie with the earring where the hot chick?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, something
That's
along that line. I love
Rob
her.
Schneider. Oh man, that was a
Yes.
classic.
You guys turn into us, we turn into you, like a Freaky Friday kind of a thing.
Hmm.
Wait, I saw this meme. Oh, but it's on this phone. Well, I'll show you. I'll send you the meme afterwards, but we'll insert him. Yeah, it'd be great.
Sounds good.
Fix it
Sounds
in post.
good. So going back to you being within the diverse industry and you having had your foot in Bollywood, you having had your foot in Nollywood, you having had your foot in the mainstream stuff as well. And then you also mentioning earlier that South Africa already kind of wants a star. What do you think makes that in the industry? Do you think that comes from grooming or do you think that just comes from a lucky break?
Oh, that's hard. I think it's a combination of both. I know, like, if you have a scandal with something, it blows you up. And the only
Hmm.
scandal I have is that I haven't watered my plants this week. Oh, scandal, can killer. That's the only thing that I have. I have nothing. I do feel like maybe I'm not interesting enough personally because
Hmm.
I dedicate everything I have, or majority to what I have, to the craft. Like, if I am not working on sets, I am practicing jujitsu, learning weapon training, or I'm constantly reading. Like, I don't party as much. Well, it's kind of hard in a global pandemic. I don't do what I like to call civilian things, I I'm
Hmm.
always looking to better myself as an artist. Like, what's gonna make me more interesting compared to the next person in the room? What can I bring to the
Yeah.
table? If they want someone that can throw knives, oh, I can do it. If they want someone that can, I don't know, do a forward flip, I can do that. So I'm always looking at those
Hmm.
kinds of things. And I suppose that's what makes me uninteresting.
Hmm.
And we don't really have, we don't have like managers or anything here. And PRs are so expensive, so expensive.
Yeah.
And I do struggle, like, because you're a dear friend, and when you asked me to do this, I was like so keen because we get to talk about the industry, we get to catch up. But in general, when it comes to interviews, I'm not a huge fan of interviews. I don't
Hmm.
understand why, people ask me about my life on an interview when I'm here to promote a movie. I don't know why the top thing Googled about me is who I'm dating. Like, what does
Hmm.
that have to do with my job? Did I
Yeah.
make you laugh? Did I make you cry? Did I
Hmm.
make you feel something? That's all that matters. And lately I found myself, because the life was very, very tough, job wise. And I do love creating content. And I feel like people give influencers a lot of a hard time. Look, some people deserve it, other people don't. Um, Creating content is super, super hard. So I had an
Yeah.
opportunity present itself during lockdown to become an influencer, for a brand. And I was like, sheesh, I don't know if I want to do it, because it's that thing of people always like, you're an actress, you're a model, now you're an influencer, what are you? Pick one. But that's the thing in South Africa, you have to be multifaceted. Is that the correct sentence?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be multifaceted to make it work. You have to have so many jobs, because what you guys get paid for the day is probably what I will make in a month or a week
Hmm.
because we don't really have a union that protects us. We don't have the greatest rates, so we have to look for revenue and copious amounts of jobs to keep our dreams alive. If
Yeah.
it wasn't for my modeling career, which I get very much bullied about within the film industry, I don't think I would be able to be an actress, because my modeling pays.
What kind of bullying? What do they say about your
It's
modeling
just
career?
that thing, like, a couple of director mates, and I say the term mates because we are friends. I mean, the industry is quite small on the international side. Like, you're always working with the same people, because there's a very handful of people that can do like American, British accents, everything. So it's like a little family, and they always bully me. They're like, "Oh, you're not bad for a model." And it's like, ha ha ha, ha, that was funny 60 times ago. Now it's just getting offensive and annoying. Or it's that thing of like going to a casting director, no makeup, in a t-shirt, hair tied
Hmm.
up. Like, I just woke up and I walked in there, and the casting director would be like, "Oh my, I don't know why you try so hard to be sexy. This is a role of a bank teller. We don't need a model for serious acting." And I'm just like, you saying this before, like, you
Hmm.
even roll the camera, just roll the camera. And this is with having a reputation in the industry, with people knowing your work and everything.
Wow.
It's still, they very much have that. And it's also very frustrating, like when it comes to like Bollywood or South African Indian films, or even some of the local work I've done. What I love about international is they do give you a lot of creative freedom. Sometimes you just have to hit your mark, say what you're told by the director, cool. But there's a lot more creative freedom, especially if it's a small part. Like, they don't have time to nitpick with the acting, because they
Hmm.
like on a time schedule. You get in there and you're like, cool, I've prepped this character this way. This is how I'm going to perform it. With local, there's a bit of a struggle to get on the same board, like the same vision. I found with a lot of people I've worked with. So I would perform it a certain way, and they were like, "No, I want more." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll give you like a little bit more." And then it's to the point where I'm like, if I give you any more at this point, this character is gonna come across so unrelatable, so annoying. Like, it's basically theater acting within a film, but you sure you want more.
Hmm.
And he's like, that's exactly what I wanted. And I'm just like, at that point, I need to realize it's not about me. It's not about what I want to do. I am a humble vessel and service provider to make your dream and vision come to life. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up and give you what you want. with a smile on my face. You want more? Let's give you more.
Let's
You
give
know,
it.
let's give you more until you tell me to tone it down. I kind of wish I brought the plants in closer. It would have looked really pretty covering the area. I could have called the show.
You can see a few leaves.
Leave me alone. I guarantee this is
What's
not
South
what people's
Africa's
houses look like.
what's South
I'm so
Africa's
good at dad jokes. I'm ready to be a father.
I'm not mad at that one. I'm not mad at that one. What's South Africa's, I guess, climate in regards to artists that just want to do stuff, like the free work? So, for example, in LA, you can reach out to random people and you can get a film crew together in a few hours, and it'd be a no budget type of production, and it would turn out to be something like you can use. Where Canada, you have a very niche um, collection of people who they'll only work together or something, so to break into that community is super hard. But you can get something done if you have that right community. What's it like in South Africa, where can you just reach out to your friends and
So I
other
was going to say,
filmmakers and be like, let's
we
make something?
yeah, we literally have both of those circumstances that you just described. I would say here in Cape Town, it's definitely much where you can just reach out to someone and be like, cool, this is my concept, whatever. They, it is a very small community, which is great. So I think it is that thing of you can make it, but also knowing how frustrating it is not getting paid, not having work coming in. You can't take it seriously. Well, you can't take it to heart when someone bails on you last minute because they booked a job or they have money coming
Hmm.
in. So there's a lot of those factors. Some people are a bit flaky. Like, you get those people that say, yeah, we should so collab, we should so work on something. When it comes down to it, they're nowhere to be found, or they're always busy. So I think it just depends. I did write and direct my own film last year, which was proper skeleton crew. It was a lot of fun. It was just like experiments. I just need to get out of my system. Am I a director? Am I a writer? Because like I said to you before, going into the industry, I wasn't sure where I wanted to be. I just fell in love with acting. So I just wanted to get it out of my system, see what it's like. Definitely not a script writer, I can tell you that for free. Directing, I noticed that like I had a certain vision, but I was very bad at communicating it. Need to work on my communication skills, and I would get so frustrated. Like, how do you not understand what's happening in my head? Like, how do you not understand? Like, what do you mean you don't understand? So I would get really frustrated when the DOP didn't deliver on the image I had in my head. But it was really cool because I got to do it with some pretty, I don't want to name the people just yet because it's gonna still trying to sass out, get like funding, festival vibes. But I will drop you a link out. It did get picked up for funding recently, which is very exciting. I got the news early on today, actually.
Nice.
But it's just that thing of it takes a long time, and I had to give up 2 jobs to make my own baby work, and it was very hard to do because I wanted to do both these jobs. One was a comedy show, and the other one was very very drama driven. But I knew I wouldn't get the opportunity of working with this DOP again. It was only like in this time period that we could make it happen. So I think if people, and there are some people here, there's an amazing director actually, Ryan Kruger, who just makes it happen. He has an idea, he rounds up his friends, we fucking shoot it. before you know it, it's edited, it's out there. It's like traveling the globe in festivals. It's visited like 2 shows that we've done. Oh, sorry, 2 films. Listen to me, 2 shows. This is how I talk to the muggles. 2 shows that I've been in. So 2 films that he's done, short films. I have gone to Toronto. The one was picked up, turned into a full film. It's called Fried Barry. It's pretty intense. Shout out to Ryan Crew, Fried Barry. It's experimental.
That's a very broad word, especially in 2022. But
Let's put it
I'm
this way:
curious now.
Carol Baskin watched it, and her review was just like, oh, 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 from Carol Baskin's. Yeah.
From Carol Baskin. Nice. I don't know. I'm still curious to hear the stories of different areas in the world and how people break out in regards to
Oh,
not
I
necessarily
break out
becoming a
because
name.
I haven't been putting like the right stuff on, so I've been breaking
Stop it.
out.
Stop
Not
it.
that breakout. You talking
Stop
about
it.
a different breakout.
You put your pimples back.
Y'all want to see Table
Get that?
Mountain?
Oh
Another
my
mountain view.
God.
Oh, the camera's here. Sorry.
Well, that's another curious thing where it's like, what's your relationship with accents and when did you start the American accent? And has that been an asset or has that been something that's kind of inhibited or stunted you in a way?
No. Okay, so first of all, I have an older brother and an older sister that are very good with accents, and we're years apart. I think my brother and I are 5 years apart. My sister and I are almost 3 years apart. And my brother's favorite movie to watch was Bad Boys, and he knew it line for line, and he would say it
Hmm.
like, with the accents. So growing up, I picked up on accents very easily because my mom has a pretty thick Portuguese accent, although she denies it. My dad had like a very South African accent with small hints of Indian and Afrikaans. So I grew up in a home that had a lot of accents. I grew up in a home that was very multicultural. And my siblings just, that's the way we bonded. We would like talk to each other
Hmm.
like this and everything. Like we would make jokes. Our family met at like a family reunion, mama and dad kind of thing. And moving into its drama, I never forget when I was studying, I got very sick at the end of my 3rd year. And I couldn't attend a lot of classes, but they were doing phonetics and accents. And my principal still told me, don't stress because this one you have in the bag. It's fine.
Hmm.
I could never read phonetics. I struggled to read phonetics. I'm the type of person I can hear an accent. And then if you give me like maybe 20 minutes to prep it, I can do it. And it's helped me so much in the industry because not many people here can do it. There's, like I said, there's a small community of us that do the international things because there's
Hmm.
probably, I would say, one, maybe like 3 in each category of age that can do a really good American accent, a really good British, etc. Some people just, it's very difficult if you come from an Afrikaans home to lose that accent. Some people have like a strong South African or African accent, which is very hard for them to lose. But I was, like I said, a bit of a theater nerd, like a huge drama geek. So I was constantly learning how to speak from, like, you can speak from your fupa, you can speak from your chest, you can speak from your throat, you can speak through your nose. So I find this like incredibly interesting because I grew up in like a very small Indian community where my neutral accent was very soft spoken. I'm not even gonna joke. Before I started studying drama, this is literally how I spoke. Like I was very nasal and everything. I could still do accents, but this was like my neutral voice. And then I read a book
Interesting.
by, yeah, I read a book. I can't remember who the author was, but I think it was Linklater, Freeing the Natural Voice, and just constantly working at it. It's like those warm-ups, those exercises that they teach you in drama school are actually legit. you know.
Yeah.
I was just like a bunch of hoo-ha. Why am I walking around the room pretending I have a trunk? It really, really taught me how accents is so in tune with habitual holding patterns and your social circumstances, like the area you grew up in, how the people around you sound, etc. So I figured that's how I would sound in life until one day I decided to break it. I'm like, if
Mm.
I can work out and change the way my body looks, why can I not change the way I sound? But can I tell you in everyday life, like when you go out and so my favorite thing to do is every day I will practice at least 5 of my accents every day, just the general ones to keep it like, yeah, if I go to a casting tomorrow, it's fresh. It's right here, guys. You want me to do American? It's right here. Like I don't even have to stress about it. I will go into it naturally. So I use this in my everyday life, not knowing that like sometimes I'll just come across and be like, hi, can I please get a bottle of water? Thank you so much, darling. You know, like I just keep it here all the time and I do it in my everyday life that some of my friends that aren't even in the industry will tell me, so how many personalities do you have? I'm like,
Hmm.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no personalities. But it's so interesting because I need to be able to practice it every day. It's not like you can go to the gym and just do it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to talk to myself in the mirror. If I'm out somewhere and I just feel like it just needs to come out naturally, you need to allow it, right? It's your way of practicing just in case. Because we have an amount of
Mm.
international shows like Gotcha. And one of the main things that they're looking for in a casting is like a general British, a general American, and so on and so forth. So you always have to be on the point of that. Canadian, I struggle with though, because for some reason, I hope the Canadians don't hurt me for this. For some reason, I always slip into American. It's if you're not from there and you don't know the difference,
It's
it's really hard, guys.
But then with that, it's like when people think of a Canadian accent, it goes more into a very stereotypical countryside
E,
accent, which I don't think is
yeah,
fair
and then
because
you put a second word. E,
close, close. But like even with that, where I grew up in Toronto and I'm around communities and that don't sound anything like that. And it was a very common thing to be told that I don't sound Canadian when it's like I never really understood what that meant because I'm influenced by everything American anyways, and I grew up that way. So when people say this, like, "Oh, you sound like you're from the States," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really know what you think Canadians are like." And then it goes back to like the stereotypes of, "Oh, you think we live in igloos and we know everybody's name by their first name," and it's like, no, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, that's a thing. That's a legit thing
well,
that people.
I get that. Like, what if you're from South Africa? Why don't you live in a hut? Those kinds of things.
Yeah,
Like, guys,
so it's
I know
insane.
you
It's
have TikTok.
insane
Do you
what.
not have Google?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense where people are that narrow-minded to think that. Oh yeah, no, you guys live in snow houses. It's like, oh wow, that sounds very romantic, but no, that's absolutely not what's going on up north.
And I
Oh,
just say right now, I'm sorry to divert, but because you said a snow house, I'm picturing how beautiful that would be right now because it's hot as hell. It is so hot at
mm.
moments. Yeah, like I have the aircon
What's
and
the
I have to tell you what the temperature is and what do you guys use, degrees Celsius, or is that the thing?
Well, we use Celsius, but we're actually in San Diego right now. We're in California, enjoying the not snow.
You're in California? Oh,
So we're in California.
so there we go. That's in like Fahrenheit. Wait. There. You see it?
Whoa. Ah, I wish. I wish.
Humidity,
That sounds
60%.
cozy to me.
That's why my hair is tied up.
That sounds cozy. I would love to be at 95 degrees right now.
Oh, it's so hot. It's honestly so hot. Like if you go outside, you get a tan. Do you remember how fair I was when we met in London? How like fair I was now?
But that was
Summer.
London, though. What are you gonna do in London? You're gonna lose your tan in London. That's just
But
colonialization at its prime. You go somewhere and you lose your tan, even though it's summertime. So when you were in London, was that also, were you doing acting classes there? Were you pursuing the industry there, or
in all
were you
honesty,
just slinging bottles at Cirque?
so basically, so the full story of why I ended up in London, a really big agency wanted to pick me up, and I was like, amazing. So I sold up everything here, and I went to London to start my life. And I didn't even get to meet the agent. I met their assistants, and they're like, "No, you're great. You're everything we want. But what work do you have coming up?" And I'm like, nothing. Isn't that like your guys' jobs? Get me into the room and, schmooze, do my thing, get the
Hmm.
job. And they're like, no.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then I was like, damn, now I'm in another country which is incredibly expensive compared to my home. Where I have like a decent name and, reputation in my industry back home, and I have nothing here. It
Yeah.
was very difficult to find an agency, even in modeling. So I was like, cool, let me just get a good job that keeps my energy alive. So I was like, a waitress at a nightclub would be fun. Did that. And I think it was almost like, I don't know if it was the nightlife or just those two rejections kind of thing, because it's very difficult to go from having something, or it was humble, I needed it. It was very difficult to leave as like, let's say, a leading woman in a film, to another country where no one gives a fuck about you and you need to eat, and you're like, cool. So I lost myself a bit, being like, I just shouldn't be an actor. If these people aren't willing to take a chance in me, what makes me think I deserve a chance? It was, self-pity, woe is me kind of a thing. So I kind of just took a break from the industry. I took a break from modeling, from acting, and I worked on myself as a person. And then they were casting for a film called Triggered, which I'm pretty sure you guys can get on your side. It was bought by Samuel Golding Films.
Hmm.
You
I think I
watched
watched
Triggered. I'm
that one.
pretty sure you've seen it.
Yeah, where that was the one you
Like a
guys had
slash.
bombs attached to you.
Yes. Spoiler. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's all coming back to you now. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're casting for that. If you put the scene in this, I'm just gonna. Um,
yeah. And cut to scene.
oh wow, wow. Where the fuck is Bobby? That's all I say in the movie.
Yep.
Spoiler. They were casting for that, and my agent reached out to me, which was weird because obviously I haven't done any work for like a year. It was a request cast, and they reached out to me, and they're like, "Yo, they really want to see you tape for." Originally auditioned, I think I got the sides for Amber, and I was like, "Okay, cool." Did it, booked it, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna."
Hmm.
I flew back to South Africa a day before my birthday, and I went into my wardrobe on my birthday, and we started shooting. And I was just like, how did I ever think for 1 second in my life I was made to do anything else but act? I
Hmm.
was just like, Suraya, what were you doing? Finding yourself. What were you doing? This is exactly where you fucking needed to be. Like, how? And even though it was like, it wasn't that like emotionally investing or anything, it wasn't like a hectic part. where you had to isolate yourself for months on end thinking about the character. It was simple given circumstances. It's an ensemble piece. It was fun. It's like an American slasher. There's no real heart in it or anything like that. I was just like, how the fuck did I ever convince myself during my pity party and self-loathing that I should be doing anything else with my life? Being in front of the camera is the safest place I know. And I've put myself in, like, trying to put my life in little suitcases and drag myself all over the world looking for purpose or looking for a home. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. But the camera is one place that I honestly feel like this is home. It is the most comfortable place. If anything, I don't know if it's because I get to hide behind names or characters, but I don't think I can ever be comfortable anywhere else. It is my home. It's literally should be my postal code. Like, Suraya, where do you live? In front of a camera?
That's
What's your
so
address?
warming. I love
Draft
that.
20. But I mean, that's what it felt like. I was like, I needed to go through that humble experience to touch base with my human side, and bring that in front of the camera. Because I'm literally like, every time I even think I'm going to get into a relationship, I'm like, ooh, but he might break your heart. And then I go, but wait, you turn pain into paychecks every day. Please break my heart. There's some additions coming up. It's almost season, sir. Break it real good.
This industry has created a monster, but a very, very lovely story with respect to that, where it's like it's I think
Action,
there
darling.
is a
So
lot of truth
monster.
behind that though. Where it's just like I don't know. I don't know because I'm in the exact same boat when it comes to that where it's like I love going through experiences because it's only it's something that I just get to add to the library of emotions and feelings where it's like, oh man, my friend's dog died and they're sad. It's like, oh, why am I thinking that? But then at the same time, it's like, it's something.
Yeah.
So,
It's like when someone really starts a fight with you and you can feel like you want to cry and you're going through the pace and the emotion, but you're not crying, you're holding that cry in. And as soon as they leave, you run to the mirror and you just let it go. And you go, that's enough, save it. You have a
it's
self-tape to do later.
why
Then
are
as
we
soon as you
like
go into the
this?
tape, I really don't know, but I think it's absolutely amazing. It's great. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do.
Hmm.
Is also,
No, but
are
it's
you
interesting how
that
you phrased it too, because I think it's very important to highlight that where you said it's a very safe place to be. So even when
it's
we're experiencing life and we're living life, it's like we can't really be us in normal life. So then it's
no.
like allowing ourselves to free up in front of a camera is very therapeutic in that aspect.
I think the camera, and it's so interesting watching people that aren't in the industry in front of a camera, like even to take a photo. This is their instant go-to,
Hmm.
or
Are
kind of
you
a thing.
just going through my Instagram right now and making fun of all my poses?
Well, honey, it's the true fans. For me, it's just the most interesting thing to see how people can get so awkward in front of a camera. And
Hmm.
maybe it's because we also notice how awkward it is. Well, for me, I notice how awkward it is because you cannot lie in front of the camera. I think that's what people take for granted when they describe acting. They're like, oh, so are you acting now? Acting is not lying. Acting is living
Yeah.
truthfully under imaginary circumstances. So every time I'm crying from something that happened to me in reality, or I'm imagining
Hmm.
that it's something I have gone through. You cannot lie in front of a camera,
Yeah.
guys. The camera sees you lying. You cannot fake this whole
Yeah.
thing of fake it till you make it is absolute bullshit as well. I don't know where it came from. you cannot do that in front of a camera. You can be a great pretender, yes. But you cannot lie in front of a camera. Camera captures you at your most vulnerable moments always. And that's why I say it's a safe place, because it's the one place where it's like therapy, right? It's kind of selfish why I love being an actor, because I can deal with all my shit. And I don't need to go to a therapist. I just need to like book a pot and deal with all my shit in front of the camera, have my own cathartic experience while giving my audience a cathartic experience, and move on.
Yeah, I feel that. I empathize
You
with
did
that.
not just take me off that. I was just like, I bared my heart and soul to you, and you just gave me a K. It's like sending someone a message and they give you a
And
red.
this is where I cut to, where the fuck is Bobby?
That's what you want me. They want to cut to like a Bollywood dance number over here. Fuck this.
Oh my goodness. No, but yeah, I definitely have to empathize with that, where it's just like the camera is like an equalizer in that, where nobody is allowed to be fake in front of a camera. And I think being able to master your own self in front of a camera is the craft, and that's where, you know, all the years of trauma really get to shine through, and we can acknowledge it. I think that's the important thing, is we can acknowledge it when we're in front of the camera. And then when it's off, then we go back to lying to
Yeah.
ourselves and pretending everything's okay.
I would say I think the only time I lie is like in normal situations. I can't lie in front of a camera, but I'll lie in normal situations. And they go, my favorite is when you have to do the whole thing of justifying your CV to people. So you're an
Mm,
actor. What have you been in that scene? I'm like, so you're a lawyer. What cases have you done that I would have known of? You
yeah,
know, I'm just like,
yeah.
how? Why are we not asking people that question? You're an accountant? I mean, do you mind doing my taxes?
Oh my God.
Why are we not asking people these questions? Or the worst is when your friends introduce you to their friends, being like, this is my friend Suraya. She's an actress, but not in porn, like a real actress. This is why I stay at
But
home.
they do get paid a lot in porn, so it's like, why am I not getting paid as much as them?
Signs up to OnlyFans.
Oh, Soraya, it's been good. It's been fun. Oh man. But no, do you have anything coming up right now, or are we still
I
in a
do,
waiting phase for
but
production?
I'm not allowed to
Can't
say
talk
what I
about it
got.
yet. Mm.
There's
But that's exciting
something I
though.
guess.
You have your baby. That's your baby. It's something you get to call your own. So super proud of
Yeah,
that. Make
that's
sure, let me know when that's ready, because
I
this isn't
will.
gonna go out for maybe a month-ish. So if it's ready by then, let me know, and then I can drop it in the description
It's
for
definitely gonna be longer
everybody
than
to
that.
see.
But I do have something coming
Say
up
one
on
time.
Amazon Prime. I was gonna say that's gonna take some time. I still have to shoot the film now with the funding. But I do have something that's gonna be
Okay.
dropping on Amazon Prime, Netflix, and HBO later this year. Can't say what though, which sucks.
Wow.
Well, you're gonna
Nice.
say look out for the
Awesome.
spice
Congrats.
on Amazon Prime and Netflix.
Look at all the pimples and everything just
Yes, how
there.
beautiful are they, you guys? How beautiful are my pimples? They like I
I
grew
think
them
every
myself.
time we've spoken, you've had a little friend always with you. I think every time, like,
So
we've had an
I think it's
opportunity to catch
because
up,
of
there's always been a little friend.
so I think it's because like usually I don't get pimples, right? Like in general, I don't. But if I'm working, just the sun, the lights, the makeup, because obviously set makeup is very oily and your face cannot breathe. And I'm that
Yeah.
person, no, let
No,
me keep the
that's a
makeup
big thing
on. I'm
too,
gonna
is I always ask them.
go
Oh
to remove
man,
the
where it's
makeup
like,
off.
yeah, don't use that, but then at the same time, it's like they get a completely different set of makeup for me as well. Because sometimes they'll have like oil-based stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you can't use that on my skin. Thanks, but no thanks. And then
No,
afterwards, yeah, hot
no.
towel. That's where I live. you're in front of the camera, I'm hot towel. That's my postal code. That's my zip code where I need the hot
Oh,
towel at the end of the
I was
day.
gonna say no. If I have a good face of makeup on, I'm not wasting that shit. I'm gonna take a bomb ass selfie in my hotel room, maybe go to dinner with that makeup face, and then afterwards wash it off. So this is the result. I've been shooting nonstop this week, by the way. It's the new year, already started shooting, but mostly photo
Nice.
shoots. Modeling career is going good. I mean, go check out my Instagram, bro.
Did you just plug your Instagram to me? God damn it.
Check out my Instagram. The has it. The has it.
But everybody, once again, thank you for coming out to the 2 Degrees podcast and joining us with Suraya Rose Santos. But of course,
Why do
brought
you
to you
put
by
your
the Play
face
On
so far into
Foundation.
the camera?
I just got to get
I'm
in there
sorry, I didn't even the
because
outro.
you're.
But why? Hi, everyone. My name is Suraya Rose Santos. I'm from Africa, and thank you so much for tuning in. Am I doing this right?
I think your hut internet isn't well. I think you need to reattach the eth Ethernet cable.
Yeah, here in
You-
Africa, you can still hear what the internet sounds like.
I think this is how we're gonna exit. What does that sound like? What does the internet sound like again?
Book me for your voiceovers
Yeah,
now.
that's bringing back memories right there.